Wow, that part
Go on here, now you like. Okay. And did you hook up to the wireless?
Yes, we did.
There you go.
I can go across the...
It's close to sticking here, but that's okay.
So I can shut this bed.
Yes, or you can walk around with it and carrying it. What do you want to do? It goes on his shoulder.
Can we put the majority of this?
The cord in?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go and try that.
Just remove the wire.
I know, but where did they... Go through? Remember to duck.
Yeah. We don't want any real blood here. You guys want to run up there real quick? You got 4 minutes.
Just to look at the car?
Yeah, if you guys want to go up there, you got 4 minutes.
Play dead, guys.
I'm just gonna take a nap.
Well, hello.
Which side should we be on? Should I go over there or?
You should be over here, so we can get like it first. So like we'll be able to see it, but we should into the audience for to knock the out. So
Well, you can't be in the way.
I know we won't be. I hope we won't be.
All right, come on. You lead the way, man. We can't be on the street.
Shit, about that.
Dude?
No, that's it. It's like, man. It's a little cold out here.
Mm-hmm.
I should have the microphone done. Oh, I'm talking.
The entire point of this is to discourage drunk driving. Prom is this Saturday, so we don't want them to be drunk driving.
I'm getting ready to start.
Which side of the street should we be on? We can always zoom in, so, but we...
I think we should be on that side.
Sorry about that.
This program is probably different from any other traffic safety program you've seen in the past. You are going to hear and see exactly what the victims of a car crash have experienced during and after the crash. This will occur in real time.
You just have to hold the wire. Hold the wire.
Zero's made it.
Hold on a minute. I think they got me. Okay, let's take that from the top. This program is probably different from any other traffic safety program you've ever seen in the past. You are going to hear and see exactly what a real traffic accident would be like in real time. You'll experience what it's like to be a witness and to be a victim in a crash. This is going to occur in real time as it does in real situations. Fatal traffic crashes are the leading cause of death for young people in Illinois and the United States. And today we are going to witness what takes place in a serious injury and fatal traffic crash. This crash involves striking a person as they were jogging along the roadside. The object could be a tree, a utility pole, bridge, or any other stationary object. After running the pedestrian over, the driver overcorrected, causing the vehicle to roll. This type of accident can occur anywhere, in a city, on a country road, or on a busy interstate highway. As a matter of fact, this accident happened when I was in high school as well, and two kids flipped their car over and slammed right into a telephone pole about a mile away from where I currently live. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about those two young men and what they were thinking as they went through that accident. As a teacher here at this school, I've been unfortunate enough to go to the funerals of 8 students. 8 students, 8 lives lost, 8 families affected, numerous friends. So please take this seriously. It happens in every high school across America when people least expect it. What you see before you is the result of this type of crash. The dynamic of this crash, as well as all crashes, have many variables. The most significant is that affects the severity of the crash is speed. Consider the length of a football field. The 2 yellow barrels before you represent that distance. All right, or these yellow pylons, orange pylons. That's 300 feet. That's the distance needed to stop a vehicle traveling at 55 miles per hour. To avoid an accident. To illustrate the significance of speed, if we change the speed of our crash vehicle from 55 to 65 miles per hour and keep our stopping distance at the same 300 feet, our crash vehicle will not stop in the 300 feet. But a crash going 35 miles an hour. A 35-mile-an-hour crash produced the same kind of damage and injury you will see today.
That party was pretty legit. Yeah, it was awesome. So you're sure you're okay tonight? Party pretty hard. Yeah, I'm fine. It's not like it's my first time driving home from a party, guys.
Yeah, chill out. She's never been caught before. Let's not jinx her.
I didn't even drink. Let me drive. I don't think so. Only I drive my car, and besides, I'm so late. Fine, just stay on the road, okay?
Let's all drive faster so we're all not late.
I don't know.
Keep your breath. What's your phone number you're calling from?
It's 469-7321.
Okay. And tell me exactly what happened.
Okay, all I know is there's a guy on the road, and then there's a car, and the car's on its, oh man, it's like Naples. I think so. It looks like it's all crinkled, like a crinkled car.
Yes,
Okay.
probably so.
Okay, well, that's
Is anyone injured?
yeah.
How many people?
There's a guy on the road, and he looks really bad, like I can't even tell
Okay, ma'am, take a deep breath for me. How many people total are injured? I need to know how many ambulances I need to send. If there's more than one?
Fine. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody else is sending, I'm sending the paramedics for you. Stay on the phone. I'm going to put you on hold just a few seconds while I dispatch that, okay?
All right. Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Somebody help us.
The driver of the car is 17-year-old Delane Flory. She has been drinking and smoking marijuana, but was luckily wearing a seatbelt. And the vehicle has an airbag in the steering wheel. At impact, Delane's body was thrown forward, with the airbag and seatbelt absorbing most of the forces involved in the crash. The extent of her injuries were a few bumps and bruises. She is conscious and forced to watch the events as they unravel before her. Victim number 1 is a jogger. It's 17-year-old Braden Crozier. He was out for a jog enjoying the weather, was struck by Flory's vehicle. Braden was killed instantly. Alyssa Beals, his jogging partner, was not hit and frantically attempts to help Braden, not knowing that he's already dead. Victim number 2, Ashley Beals, is a 17-year-old female. She has not been drinking and was riding in the back seat but was not wearing a seatbelt. At impact, Ashley was thrown into the roof of the car and out the side window, causing massive head and brain injuries. She also hit the doorpost, causing large tears in both her lungs. Ashley losing massive amounts of blood. Her vital signs show a blood pressure of 60 over 40, pulse rate of 160, respiratory rate of 4. Ashley is comatose and not responsive. If she does not receive medical attention within the next 5 minutes, she will die. The 911 dispatch. Human fire. Arrow ambulance. 2 Champaign County deputies to the scene. Keep in mind that some cases rescue personnel must drive from their home to the fire department and then the crash site. Depending on the location, the first unit may not arrive for 10 to 15 minutes, many times longer because of onlookers blocking the roadway. Ashley has 2 minutes to live. Passenger Cassidy Franzen is a 16-year-old female. Though sober, she was wearing a seatbelt, but had placed the shoulder strap behind her back, something she often did when riding in the front seat. At impact, Cassidy's upper body flew forward into the windshield and the dashboard of the car. Her face has smashed the window, causing several facial lacerations. Additionally, multiple glass shards have been embedded into her face. Cassidy suffers from a severe concussion. Multiple ribs were broken as she impacted the dash, causing a large segment of her chest wall to move paradoxically as she attempts to breathe. Her underlying lung has been badly bruised and no longer functions properly. Both Cassidy's liver and spleen have been ruptured at impact, and she is quickly losing large amounts of blood into her abdomen. Lastly, Cassidy's knee impacted the dash. Socket. She is in shock with a blood pressure of 80 over 60, pulse rate of 130, and respiratory rate of 30 and later. Victim 3, old female Caitlin, a back into the front passenger seat. Her chest is crushed against the seat, causing several ribs to break. One of these ribs punctured her left lung, causing it to collapse. Caitlin remained awake through all of this, and with each gasp for breath is experiencing immense pain as the broken bone ends grate against each other. Additionally, her spleen, which sits beneath her lower ribs, has been ruptured and is losing blood into her abdomen. At this time, her vital signs are blood pressure 100/80, pulse rate 80, and respiratory rate of 36. As the first units arrive on the scene, the first concern is to evaluate the condition of the victims. Since Braden and Ashley are deceased, there will be no immediate efforts to remove their bodies from the scene. All efforts will be directed to saving the living. Despite the efforts of the paramedics, Ashley Beals has just died. The police officer's primary objective is to protect the accident scene. They must first consider the safety of the victims, rescue workers, and bystanders. Once the officers have arrived, they will determine what charges, if any, will be filed against the driver involved. EMTs have just called for a 1079, which is a request for the coroner. Also, due to the seriousness of Cassidy's injuries, the airline helicopter has been requested. The rescuers decide that they must remove the door safely to remove one of the passengers. It will take time, but with today's lighter, smaller cars, it is necessary. The equipment the rescue personnel are using is the Hearst rescue tool, also called the Jaws of Life. It can exert 7,000 pounds of pressure at the tips, but this presents a amount of danger to the victims and the rescuers, which is why the victims are covered and the rescuers are wearing protective clothing. Delane is now being tested for the diminished reactions due to the use of alcohol or drugs. This task is called a field sobriety test. Delane has trouble doing what the officer is requesting her to do. Remember, throughout the process, Cassidy is continuing to lose large amounts of blood from a ruptured spleen and broken left leg. Cassie is slipping further into shock with each passing minute. Also, she continues to gasp for air each time she breathes, crying in pain with each breath. Her vital signs have deteriorated, the blood pressure 60/40, pulse rate of 120, and respiratory rate of 30 in labor. Delane's trouble with the officer's requests have led to her being handcuffed and placed in the back of a squad car where she will be taken to jail. hospital and ambulance.
You're good.
Be extricated quickly and safely. A high-flow oxygen mask will be applied to assist her breathing and administer extra oxygen. 2 IVs will also be started. Due to Cassidy's injuries and shock, the Air Life Flight helicopter will eventually transport her to Carl Hospital in Urbana. Hospital and an ambulance. Upon arrival to the ER, her injuries will be quickly evaluated. An incision will be made between her ribs on the left side of her chest, and a large tube will be inserted to help expand her collapsed left lung. Another large tube will be placed through her nose and down her stomach to empty it. A third tube will be placed in her bladder to monitor urine output. Within an hour, Caitlin will be in surgery. Her abdomen will be cut open and the surgeon will repair or remove her spleen to control breathing. In 2 to 3 hours, she will be in intensive care. Caitlin will leave the hospital weeks and will undergo extensive physical therapy. Eventually, she will recover completely. Arriving in the ER, her breathing will be controlled by a machine. She will be administered large amounts of fluid and blood in order to replace that which has been lost. Like Caitlin, Cassidy will have tubes placed in her stomach, bladder, and abdomen. Shortly after, she'll be sent into surgery for extensive repair. The general surgeon will cut open her abdomen, repair the tears to the liver and spleen. The orthopedic surgeon will replace her left hip in its socket. The plastic surgeon will remove multiple pieces of glass from her face and repair lacerations. Cassidy will remain in intensive care on a ventilator for 3 weeks. She'll be in the hospital for a total of 5 weeks. Roughly 18 months later, Cassidy will return for surgery to have her facial scars revised. She'll be plagued with deteriorating left hip function for years, and in 15 years, she'll be required to replace the hip with an artificial one. Cassidy will suffer from long-term disability from her painful left hip. The coroner, as you see, has arrived on the scene. The coroner determined that Braden and Ashley are dead, noting the apparent injuries that have caused their death. He is removing their bodies. Ashley first. grade 7. Because of the medical expenses necessary to treat Caitlin and Cassie's injuries, the families filed lawsuits. Deleen's insurance company handles the claim because it was her car and she was driving. If the policy is not sufficient to cover the amount of the claims, Deleen and her family could be held financially responsible. In addition to the huge medical and legal expenses, Deleen has to live with the image of her friend Ashley being thrown from the car and her body lying lifeless. What you've seen this afternoon, or this morning rather, has been the reenactment of an accident involving 6 teens. Only one was under the influence of alcohol and marijuana. This type of situation, unfortunately, is not uncommon, and has happened in this county several times in recent years. It's happened in St. Joseph-Ogden at least 3 times in my 20 years here. It is our hope, and the reason why we put on these programs is to try to get you to think before you act. In this case, the actions of one led to the death of many, led to a tragedy that affected many families in the community. Anyone in that car could have stopped this thing before it started, not just the one who was drinking. It takes a lot of courage to stand up to someone who is making bad choices. In this school, we have brave young men and women who are not afraid to do that. It may not be the popular thing to stand up to somebody and tell them that they are doing something wrong. But I have been in the back of one of these cars with someone who has been driving drunk. I have put my life into the hands of someone who was beyond control, not just mine, but beyond theirs. If I could go back and shake that 17-year-old and let him know that he is rolling the dice, let him know that he is taking a chance with his life by getting into that car, and that he is allowing his friend to live his by driving his car, I wish I could go back. And as I listen to you guys on the weapon, you have to make those tough choices now. You may not be exactly right away. You may not like to admit. don't know whether you saw Ashley. Can you come out here? Delane, can you come out here and let everybody know that you're your cover to your backboard? I must admit that when I read this script and I saw that I would have to read that Ashley Beals was dead, it did cause a ripple to go up my spine. I absolutely adore her as a student. She's a great representation of the school. But unfortunately, in our school's past, we've had Ashley Beals, people like her that, due to decisions that they did not make, did not ever come back to school. And when they woke up in the morning, didn't know that it would be their last. I've shed tears at funerals with these folks and their families, and I still think about them to this day. So the image of her like that is something that I won't forget, and I hope you don't forget either. But let's focus on the other side, on Delane's side here. I have Judge Ford with me to take you through and to talk with you a little bit about some of the legal consequences involved here. So put your hands together, please.
If you decide you know better, this stuff can happen. And behind you putting on the show for you have done this before. So you need to think this doesn't have to happen. And that's why everybody's here. And yes, it's not just a criminal case. There will be civil lawsuits. I do them now also, where they sue for a lot of money. And sometimes the insurance companies don't even want to defend the person who was driving under the influence because, again, they had to decide to drive after they were drinking. And there's a lot of money involved, and people's lives are changed forever. This whole thing is about getting you to think. Each of you knows somebody who currently drinks alcohol. Don't tell me you don't. Each of you knows that you are to protect yourself. You have to, because other people aren't going to take care of you in every situation. Don't trust somebody who's been drinking to get behind the wheel. Don't trust somebody who's been taking drugs to get behind the wheel, because bad things can happen. Not all the time. People don't get caught all the time, but you have to protect yourself. That's all I have to say. I want you to have a good, but I want you to have a safe route. And I think there's another speaker. Can you hear me? My name is Kelly Barbara Connor T. I look at you all, and it brings back memories of when my daughter Lexi was here. In a couple of months, as a result of something like this, she hasn't been with us anymore. Judge Ford talked to you about the dangers of drinking and driving, doing drugs that distracted driving speed. The events of the last couple of weeks, what happened in Boston, what happened with the plant explosion in West Texas. There are a lot of things in life that we can't predict, we can't control. They result in tragic loss of life, injury, heartache. What you saw today did not have to happen. This was completely preventable. The leading cause of death and serious injury in our young people. All of those of you who have hopes and dreams for the future. This is 100% preventable. It's based on choices. My Lexi made a couple of bad choices almost 7 years ago. She chose to speed. She chose not to wear her seatbelt. And a result of that, skidding, overcorrecting, flipping, and the airline chopper took her to Carl, and the coroner took her away from Carl. You make the right choices. This is 100% preventable. This is the one thing that does not have to happen anymore. We are not here to tell you that you cannot enjoy life, that you cannot have the most wonderful prom, and for those of you graduating and going on, we don't want you to enjoy life. But whether or not you have a life to enjoy depends on the choices that you make now. And it's hard with peer pressure to tell somebody that, no, you're not going to go along with it. But I want you all to live life, which means you have got to make good choices.
have to happen. We can get rid of the leading cause of death in people your age, and we don't have to do this anymore. But until that happens, we're going to continue doing this, because none of us want to go to any more funerals of 16 and 17-year-olds. I don't want any other parents to have to go through the heartache. I don't want any more little sisters and little brothers to think about their older siblings, their cousins. So I want you to think about what you've seen, right? Put it in the back of your head, but use it to make good choices in the future. And have a wonderful prom, and have a wonderful graduation, and enjoy your summer. But make good choices. Thank you. Is it on? I didn't want to come out here, but I wanted to see what happened. I am more fortunate than her because my son lived. He had one drink and made a choice to drive to Charleston, and another man was killed. I'm telling you, I may be a custodian, but I'm a parent that almost lost her child. And you think about this because it was the most devastating night because he almost died. Drinking and drugs are wrong. It will not help you. You may be having fun, but I'll tell you what, it's just masking something else you're running from. If you have a problem, you find somebody you can talk to. Because the thought of me losing one of my children again, I couldn't go through it. He is now 34, but he lives every single day with the thought that he killed someone else. He has nightmares. They don't go away. I can't stress enough, you guys, please. I'm begging you, if you drink or you do drugs, let it go. I did not think that this would affect me in this way, but it has hurt me to know and to see her and the pain that I felt. This happened back in 1996. It's still as fresh today as it was back then. Don't put your parents through it. And like Judge Ford said, the money just to keep my son from going to prison, we had to have $65,000 up front. Do any one of your parents have that? Because we didn't. We had to sell our house. We had to do all kinds of things to keep our son safe. But that doesn't take what happened to him away. It's always going to be there, so please, I'm begging you, don't drink and don't do drugs, please.
There's nothing that I can add to the last three people that's going to be more powerful. But I do want to allude to this. Judge Ford alluded to the cost and the amount of people it took to come out here, do this presentation for you. I'd like you to give them a round of applause, please. All of you are aware, as students here, we don't do very many all-school assemblies. We try to maximize as much time as we can in the classroom. But this is obviously one, as I told our staff, this is obviously one that's more important than anything else. And you hear us talk to you all the time about being safe and all the different programs we have, and drinking and driving, our SADA program, and all that good stuff. But Officer Maxey and I both feel it's very, very important that you hear from other people that these are real life events. These are decisions that affect not just you and not just the people that are with you, but that will affect hundreds of lives. And as many people have told you today, they're all avoidable. The last thing I'll say, and we'll head back to 6th hour here in just a minute, and you hear this from me every homecoming, every prom, we have 485 students right now going into this weekend. Let's make sure we come back on Monday with all 485. Have a great prom, have a great weekend, and be safe. Thank you.
Wanna go there?
Yes, yes it is. Did not that know where I'm saying that when I came to school today.
Come on. Hey, would you guys like to say something?
I don't want to follow that. That was pretty good, to be honest. Sorry.
Alright.
Are you done? Yeah.
Pull out the laptop and stop the screen though.
Huh?
Pull out the laptop and stop the screen.
Just pull it.
No.
Oh, pull out. Oh, baseball.
Hey dude, it's still live. Wrong way.
Good? Come on, let's go over here.
It says it's recording. I actually didn't record the beginning of it, which sucks. But I did get some of the action. Not as much as I would like though.
Over here's the tail.
This is the recording. Robert?
Where you at? On this?
I actually didn't catch the first part of the accident because I guess I forgot to record it or something. But I did get some of the action. Got the helicopter taken. Got the helicopter taken off.
How come it wasn't recording?